Hi there, my name is Jo and this is my channel, and today I'm going to do a pick a card reading with you. It is all about your spiritual journey. So please get yourself a cup of tea like I have, and we're going to jump right into it. And here we have our piles, and as you can see I'm setting this up really different today, similar to video I did earlier. We have 4 piles for you to choose from today. So I want you to take your focus to your spiritual journey. Let your body relax and then choose one of these 4 cards that we have here. So they're going to be, I was going to do them from no, but I won't. This is pile 1. They're going to be my way, so they're going to be opposite for you. So this is a beautiful ocean jasper. That's pile 1, that's your spiritual journey. Pile 2, which is a beautiful orange carnelian. It's such a gorgeous sphere, and you can see they're all spheres. We'll get into that later. And then we have pile 3, which is an amethyst, and I think it's an amethyst chevron sphere, but I'm not really sure. And it took me a long time to remember what that is, even though it's a really common crystal. And then we have new jade, which is the 4th sphere. So what I want you to do is relax your breathing, have a good look at these piles and see which one is calling you. And there may be more than one calling you, and that's fine too. Just listen to your intuition and find the timestamps below. And if you like pick a card readings, you might consider subscribing, liking and sharing this video. So when you're ready, you can jump straight to your reading today. Hi pile 1, if you chose the ocean jasper, this is your reading today. And your first card is the moon reversed. So lots of secrets, I feel also lies, illusions, and probably esoteric knowledge, arcane esoteric knowledge are the words that I'm being told, that's sort of laying dormant or hidden in your life, and perhaps from past lives that is occasionally being triggered for you is the message, and it's a very specific message, but it feels as if you have had a lot of past lives, Atlantis, Lemuria, they're the main 2 that I'm being told about, where you have held a lot of secret arcane knowledge. And I'm not sure whether it's starting to come to the surface for you, or whether there's these times where you'll get, it's like it rises up and then it'll dip back down, rises up and dip back down. And it may happen where you get triggered by something that recalls a past life or a past life memory, or some ancient secret knowledge that you have, and it may throw you in a bit of a spin, because I felt very ungrounded when I started doing this when we started this pile. So let's see what else we've got for you, pile 1. So your first card is in the reverse again, and it is the 7 of Wands, and then we have, and this is about where are you now on your spiritual journey, what's happening for you right now. And this is about your spiritual gifts and the things that you're going to share with people or already are sharing with people. And you have transformation and community. But I'll leave them there for now because I want to talk about the 7 of Wands. So I feel like you may be a person, and particularly right now in the world that we're living in, you might be a person where you feel like you've been backed into a corner, where you've had to just defend your spiritual beliefs. And you may not even be that certain on them. They may be things that you're thinking about, but you're not even that certain yet, but part of you knows that you have that belief, but you haven't even verbalized it to yourself. Like if I was thinking about how I might describe this way of being, it would be someone who's secretly told some people that they feel a certain way about something, but they don't tell everybody they know. And it feels like you've been defending what you believe and who you are for a very long time. And this is around spiritual beliefs to me, because this is a spiritual reading about your journey. This is about what you believe and about the things that are important to you on your spiritual journey and within your spiritual progression. Now, we've got a lot of people or a lot of crows here that are, backing this crow into a corner. But what's happening now is you're learning that you can stand up for yourself and that you do not need to let people do this for you. So we're moving into a really good space for you. You're deciding to take the things you want on, and you're letting go of other stuff, and you're realizing that even though you're on a spiritual journey, you're not here to save everybody, and you're not here to be everyone else's battering ram. Not a word that I would use, but for you, I think that that's going to relate and you'll understand. And this is about being firm in your own convictions for yourself and not for anyone else, not because you need to prove anything to anyone else. And I'm feeling really, really fired up. And we have the wands, which is all that fire. So I'm feeling really, really strong in your convictions about who you are, but not because it suits other people or so you can explain it to other people, but so it suits yourself. That's this really important thing here. Now, the next thing you've got is transformation and community. And these are your spiritual gifts. Now, I feel like you're already doing this. I feel like you're already sharing these because they're really literal. They're really, really earthbound. They could be read in lots of other ways, but to me, I actually feel this fire. Again, we've got fire. We've got all these fire elements happening for you. And transformation, I feel like you've had a transformation personally yourself, and that then you're helping other people in either your own community. It's like you're sharing your fire, your passion for spirituality, and it doesn't mean that you're sharing this aspect with people, but you're sharing your gift of your spiritual person with community. However that shows up in your life, whether you're someone who volunteers to help with local junior football, or you volunteer at your local toy library, it doesn't really matter. It is you being this resurrected person who, and my feet are feeling so cold because I've become really grounded now. Before, your energy was all really scattered, and it's like everyone's grounding and coming back into their bodies because you have had some intense spiritual lives. But it's about grounding it into the present and into the 3D realm, because that's where you're going to do a lot of your work. You're going to share your own transformation, your own ability to stand up for yourself, and you're going to share that with others. And it doesn't matter if you're not talking about spiritual stuff, and it doesn't matter if you don't even share your beliefs. It's simply showing up and being there and sharing your fire, sharing your passion with others. And that's really what your pile is going to be about, pile 1. So the next 2 cards we are bringing in, again, I'm feeling that spacey ungroundedness. So this up here is what is blocking you, and this is what you don't see coming. What is blocking you? Both, it's really interesting. Both of these cards, we have 38 and 39. Again, this is interesting because of the numbers. We have you're moving through something. You're moving through something. So even though that there is a block here, you're actually starting to break this block up already. And if you notice, these are both children. They're both girls. And they're both got their eyes closed. So they're either wishing or dreaming. One is talking about endless possibilities. The other one is wishing upon a star. But to me, what it's really talking about are dreams and night visions, connecting back to the soul self, the soul community, your oversoul during the evenings. And I think when you come back, you're very ungrounded, and you don't believe it's real, I feel. But it's like you don't know how to take the gifts that you're being given and translate them into this realm. And that's, like I said, you're already doing the work you're doing, but I feel that you may want to work in some of the past knowledge that you have, the secrets and things like that. When I say secrets, they're practices that were kept secret because they were only done by, by a few people who had this particular knowledge. And I feel like in your dreams, this information may be coming to you, but you're blocking it. And I feel like it's you blocking it because if children are really open to psychic awareness and dreams and visions and things like that. However, in both of these pictures, I feel like the children are closing their eyes really tight as if they're trying. And so I feel like for you, pile 1, you're trying too hard, or you're not believing when you come in. Like the next day, you might have had a really profound dream. You might have remembered something and you think to yourself, I must have watched a movie. I must have seen that on something else. I don't believe that's the case. I believe you're having dreams where you're connecting to your oversoul to bring some of this moon energy down into the world. And it doesn't mean that you have to go into a full-blown spiritual existence, but your spiritual journey is about sharing it with the community. So it might be about finding tangible ways to bring some of this into the world. And again, we've got children, so I feel like you're working with younger people in your spiritual journey. The next message, but that's been blocked. And this one here is what you don't see. And this is that it's going to be hard work, that it's going to take some time. You've got a 7, you've got another 7. This one is talking about not necessarily planting the seeds, but it's about tending to the work and not seeing it's delayed gratification. You're not seeing the results straight away. Again, so I've got a feeling that you're working with young people, young communities. There's also this social work element here, and you may not be seeing the results of the work that you're putting in because these kids might move away from you before you see their transformation. But they are having this transformation. You're guiding them there. Pile 1, you are an extremely dynamic, amazing personality that has a lot of energy. You may still feel like you don't have enough, but you are putting in a lot of work. There's a lot of red here. Your base chakra, you're very much working at this 3D level, at ground level. And you may not see the results of your actions, but you are doing an amazing amount of work. And your spirit guides want you to know that. You may not see, the moon is all about the illumination at night. It's not about the sun shining on something so you see it in the daylight. The moon illuminates things with that sort of cool glow, and you don't see everything. And it's kind of that same sort of aspect happening here. You may not see the results of what you're doing on your spiritual journey, but your guides want you to know that everybody around you who works with you, they do, and you don't need to back yourself up and prove anything to anybody. You are doing this work and it is seen. Now the next cards we have for you, pile 1, again I'm feeling a little bit ungrounded. So you could be someone who's new to spirituality or new to this aspect of the journey. And what I mean by that is you've had some really strong beliefs before about this work you're doing, and you may be developing some new beliefs. Which is why you feel like you're, had to back yourself up a bit, and why the moon is in the reverse, because you're learning some of these things. You have crocodile and spider, and these are the ways forward. This is how you move forward with your spiritual journey, perhaps with the block and perhaps with the things you don't see coming. So we have crocodile, and crocodile is happy to sit there and wait. Just wait and watch and wait for things to come to them. So there's this element of allowing, it's very watery, so a lot of emotion, and not showing your whole self to everybody. So there's this, you're not hiding because you're in plain sight, but you're not allowing everybody to see every little aspect of you. you have a work life, a private life, a home life, whatever other aspects of yourself, a gym life, whatever it is. But this here is talking about your own personal space and your own private stuff. You're available, you're open, but you're still private. And you're waiting for things to come to you. And the same with the spider. The spider here, again, is all about, the spider is a brilliant manifester. It knows what it wants, and it lays this beautiful, beautiful web, which is all in this beautiful rainbow colour. And it waits for its prey to come, or its dinner to come to it. But the spider is a magic manifester, because it knows what it wants. It puts it out into the universe, and then magically it appears. And so there's this, the message from your guides is wait. It is wait till it appears. Know what you want, ask for what you want, set up your surroundings to be conducive to bringing that to you, but do not go out and chase it. This is telling you to wait. And the words surrender just came in too. To wait and surrender, because the universe is going to bring you something really amazing and going to bring some really great stuff in for you that will allow things where we've got the hard work. It'll allow it to seem easier. And we have sacred wisdom, which is what I talked about in the beginning. This is a message from Spirit. And again, we have the moon on this card. So I feel like perhaps you might want to start looking into moon cycles, working with the moon, manifestation, because that's popped up as well here, using the moon, releasing on the full moon, and setting intentions on the new moon, and working with that cycle and allowing yourself to become a little bit more accustomed to working with those lunar energies rather than this sort of fiery sun energy, because I feel like you're really at home with that. And this is sort of more that earth kind of energy. And you may want to look into this particular crystal, which is an ocean jasper. You may want to look at Lemuria and Atlantis. You may or may not. There's no need to if you don't feel called to. But there is sacred wisdom and sacred knowledge becoming available to you. And like I said, you don't go out and chase it. You lay the foundations for yourself. You allow yourself to feel comfortable where you are, and it will come to you. It will come really easily to you. It's already coming to you, but you have a block around it. So that's what I'm getting for you today, pile 1. I hope you've enjoyed this reading about your spiritual journey. If you have, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you're interested, please hit the notification bell so you won't miss a new video. Thanks again. Bye for now. Hi, pile number 2. If you picked the orange carnelian sphere, then this is your reading for today. And your first card is the Two of Wands. And this card is talking about your spiritual journey to date, or sort of like encapsulating it, summing it up. And this card is talking about plans. This card is talking about almost conquering the world, is how I want to see it. You can see that the man in this picture is a wealthy merchant, and he has the world in his hand, and he's still making more plans. In your spiritual journey, it feels, and we've got the wands, so we've got fire, and you've picked the beautiful carnelian, so fiery energy happening here. You've got one wand here, which is secure. You know what it is, you understand it. And then you've got another wand here, which is sort of leading you into the unknown, I suppose. But the world is in your hand. You have the world as your oyster. The world is your oyster, whatever that expression is. And you're planning to go onto distant shores or a trip. So perhaps you are planning to take your spiritual journey overseas. Perhaps you may not be able to do that at this point in time, depending on wherever you are living in the world, or you may be planning a journey, within. But this card definitely talks of travel and talking about journeying And this could do with other types of journeying. As soon as I've said those words, it's kind of like opening up a different aspect of journeying. And journaling is another thing that's come up for me. Never seen journaling with the Two of Wands here before. But I'm going to bring in some more cards and let's have a look at the rest of your spiritual journey for you. So our first two cards, we have Justice and Death. And this is what's happening. I'm putting them that way because that's the way I'm seeing them for you. This is what's happening in your spiritual journey at the moment. So currently. This is similar to one of the other piles that I have done, pile 2. If you've picked another pile, you may be noticing similarities. You have the Justice card here, which is an 11, and then you have a 2. So there's a lot of duality happening. There's partnerships possibly, but that's not what I'm feeling strongly in this pile yet. So we have the 11 card, which is about metering out justice. And those are the words that I used before as well, actually, when this card came up. It's metering out justice in a spiritual fashion. So my feet are feeling really, really cold. So it's like you've just come in. You're really listening now. And we have the Death card upside down. So these cards here to me are actually talking about something that's being forced on you or that has been, so either has been forced on you, will be forced on you, or it feels like that. And this is current. So there is something that is going to be brought into balance. Justice is going to be meted out. However that works for you, I'm not sure. It's going to be forced upon you because this is like, it wasn't able to die a natural death. It had to be forced upon you because there has been resistance to it and you or other people involved have not been letting it run its natural course. So it's been forced upon you, which may feel really, really terrible, or it may feel like you're going to experience a loss. Now, when I say that, I am looking at this card, and this card could be someone who is missing someone else because they have gone overseas or they are not with them or they have left for some other reason. So this could be to do with this Death card here, that you're having a rebirth in a particular relationship where that person has left you for in one of many reasons, and they are experiencing a rebirth for themselves, but for you, you are experiencing a rebirth in yourself as well as that relationship. Getting complicated in my head for me to even keep it all together. But I feel like you'll understand this. I'm really being drawn again to the reds. So base chakra, there's a lot of movement on a physical plane here. So base and sacral chakra. So this is a lot to do with the physicality of movement and being near people you love, I feel. And for your spiritual development and your spiritual journey, this was an important aspect, whatever's happened here. And these cards here represent your gifts, your spiritual gifts. And we have Turtle and we have Earthwork. Now, Turtle carries its own home on its back. Again, I feel like we're dealing with a movement, travel, kind of relocation type of thing happening. I'll give an example, but not that this will apply to everyone, but you can hopefully see what I'm talking about. Someone has had to move maybe for work, and it's left that person dreaming about going somewhere else, planning to go somewhere else, planning to reunite with somebody. It was forced upon you, but it was what needed to happen because there is a rebalance that needs to happen, because these two cards are talking about balance, and something was out of balance. So Spirit stepped in and created a situation where there is a divide, whether that's a physical death or other. For most of you, it won't be a physical death, but for some of you, it could be. So Turtle carries their home on their back, and perhaps it's you that has had to move. So your gift is to bring your light everywhere you go. Your gift is to bring all of you everywhere you go. Now, the turtle is filled with earth magic. It has 13, I don't know what they're called, but it has 13 plates. I think they're called plates. 13 plates on its back. There are 13 moons. It's very much about a woman's cycle. You know, it's all that sort of natural, easygoing type thing. Really fit in with the earth plane. Again, I'm really talking about the earth plane here. And we have earthworm. So turtle is at home on sea or land. You can make yourself feel at home, or you are easily adaptable and can make yourself feel at home or be at home anywhere you go. You may not feel like that, but that's how others see you. Others see your gift as you're just at home anywhere. Anywhere you go, you adapt. And that is a strong thing about you. The next card for you is earthworm. This is probably what others don't see. This is that deeper side of you, and this is the side of you that is working on something within. This is what this person here is working on or thinking about. See all that beautiful colour inside the loop of the earthworm? It's like you're working on something to share with other people. And I don't feel like it's ready for you to share it yet, but you're working on it. And whatever it is going to make other people feel like they're at home. So I'm not getting any more information on that. That's really kind of, because it will be different for so many people. But you're working on something wonderful, something that brings a lot of other people light, colour, happiness, joy. And whatever it is that you're bringing in, you're going to bring that aspect of yourself, that's your spiritual gift, to others, which is a really lovely way of doing something, pile number 2. Your next 2 cards, and this is really, this is quite interesting for me. We have more of the same. We have the man in the cloak, and we have him looking at the distance. We have him looking over water. This is a 2 and this is a 3. And then we have more water, and we have the crossed swords with the 2 of swords. So again, we're working with duality. We're working with 2 lots of 11s or 2s. And then we have the 3. We're a lot of fire energy with the reds and oranges. This is what is blocking you, this one here. So this card here could be that you are setting things in motion that you are yet to see the results of. You are setting things up that you know might take a little bit longer than, longer, but these might take even longer than you were thinking, because I think you're already prepared for a bit of time and a bit of wait, but this is going to take a little bit longer for you. And that's what you don't see. But the other thing about this is you're expanding. So there's this expansion with this card, but there's also a contraction. So we're moving in the fire element, you're moving and you're expanding, which is what I was talking about. You're working on something. And this has to do with your spiritual journey, but it's also very much a 3D level. Whatever you're working at in your spiritual journey, you're also bringing into the world, I feel quite strongly. You're a planner, a thinker, a doer, and you are passionate and able to make things happen. You may feel a bit frustrated with this card because this is a block, because it's going to take longer than you thought. When it's upright, it's usually not that, but that's the message I am getting from this card. And also the other thing that I think about this card is there's going to be a lot more sort of angry emotions around whatever this thing is, this block for you. It's going to bring up some inner turmoil for you. The red sea that is there, or the orangey kind of colour of the sea. Then the next thing is what you don't see. And this is what you don't see. And so I feel like the block is giving you a really good indicator of this thing. What this is this is either yourself or someone that you're working with, or the other party that is involved in this separation, or people who are separated from each other. I don't know. I'm not going to describe it because it's going to be different. This is someone or yourself being closed off emotionally. There is no access here to the water. In this one here, the first one, we're talking about water that's contained. The next one, we're looking at fiery water. So things being stirred up and gets a bit murky. This one, we have the nice coloured water again, but it's all chopped up, it's all stirred up, and you're not getting through. You're not getting through here to this person. There's the moon element here too, when a lot of this has been in the sunshine, which is sort of more the element of the carnelian, and there's now the emotional aspects coming up, but they're blocked. Whether it's yourself or whether it's somebody else, the access to emotions is blocked off here. This may bring up emotional intensity, but people don't want to let it settle. So there's this is what you don't see. So perhaps you're getting frustrated with things because they're not moving, and you're getting angry, and the person that you're dealing with is not being open and honest. They're not showing you where they are and what's going on. They're keeping things hidden again, which is the moon. They're keeping their thoughts, but more so emotions, hidden from you, and that is causing more emotions and that fire to come up for you. Oh wow. Oh sorry. It's pretty interesting. As we've gone along, I've been talking about relationships, but not talking about partnerships exactly. But here we have the Lovers in the reverse position, and this is how to move forward. And so what you have is the Lovers reversed, and then we have the World, which is the end of a cycle. So I've been sort of skirting around an issue here, which is of a relationship that is coming to the end of its life. And it doesn't mean that it is the Lovers relationship can be any partnership, can be a business relationship, it can be work colleague, pen pal, whatever, but it's coming to an end. It's a close, with coming up with the World, it's really coming to an end of a cycle, coming to a karmic conclusion for some of you, not for all of you. But it is like, you also see that wreath, it's a triumph. It's the right thing that's going to happen. It probably may not feel the greatest for you, pile 2. And the next card is pretty awesome too. But it's justice is being meted out. It is coming to a karmic balance. It's meant to fall away. You haven't let it fall away. You may have been getting lots and lots of previous information that it's time for it to die of natural causes, but whoever was involved is not letting that happen, whether that's you or whether that's the other person. But your spiritual journey is to live through this process, and there's a lot more here that you're going to bring the world that this relationship may have been blocking. This relationship may have stopped you from progressing, which is why we've got the progression and then we get the halt. We go backwards into the 2 because things get blocked off. It's delayed because there's the movement that should have been happening for you hasn't been happening because you've been trying to block this. And I know that that's not nobody really wants to see that card or hear those words, but this here is telling you that it's going to be a success. It's going to be the right thing for you, not a success. It's not the right word. And I'm looking at the Scorpion, and the Scorpion or Scorpio is basically saying there is a sting in this tail, but it is the right thing for you through the fire element of Scorpio. You go into those darker plutonic secrets, that real, the depth of something for you. And the last card, which is messages from your team, your spirit guides, your higher self, is bearing fruit. Whatever it is you're doing right now with this relationship, with this karmic cycle, you are planting seeds, or you have already planted these seeds. They're already done. You have already been doing this without you knowing, or maybe you've been aware of it for some of you. But it's not that you're planting seeds right now and you're going to see this massive tree. This tree is already growing within you. You are now going to bear the fruit of the tree. The tree is already blooming. The tree is already established, and you're going to bear the fruit. But in this situation here, you're not, this isn't progressing. This is stalling. And this is closed off. When you allow this to fall away, and you will then feel the benefit of it, you will then begin to bear fruit in your spiritual journey, but also your three-dimensional world, because there is a lot happening here on the physical plane for you. And we have, I'm just looking at the numbers again here. We've got lots of 2s. We have 3s. We have, this is a 21. This is a 12. So they add up to 3s. So you're progressing. You're moving. It doesn't feel the greatest because you are experiencing an extremely big spiritual lesson. This justice is coming in and it's being meted out. And it may not have been the thing that you wanted, but it is going to be the thing that bears fruit for you. You are moving into the right place. Now, I understand that you may not love this reading. I hope there's a message in here that you've appreciated or that you were ready to hear. If you like pick a card readings, please like and share this video with anyone you think might be interested. Thanks for watching again. Bye for now. Hi Pile 3, this is your reading today, all about your spiritual journey. And you have the amethyst chevron. And I've already filmed this once and it didn't work, so I'm filming in Mercury retrograde. So we're going to take 2 and let's see how we go. So you have the 2 of Cups reversed. Now this 2 of Cups reversed feels like for you on your spiritual journey, you have had a lot of endings in relationships. So you've had a lot of endings in relationships where you haven't been the person that's ended it. Somebody else has done that for you. Somebody else has taken care of that for you. It feels like you have a lot, well, the words are a lot to learn around relationships, but I feel like you've had a lot of lessons that are already come, that you've already working through or on at this point. And to me, it feels like there's been quite a lot of challenge around your relationships, and it doesn't have to be, partnerships. They can be work relationships and work colleagues, can be, with people who have more power than you. They can be siblings, parents, whatever it is. But it's a partnership. It's 2 people, and it can be more, but I am focusing on the 2 here. It feels like you have been giving more of yourself and that other person has been taking more in nearly all of these partnerships that are out of balance. And you will know these ones as different from other relationships you have that are in balance, particularly because when they've ended, that person ended them, not you. So let's bring in some more information. So our first 2 cards coming in are, sort of like what's coming in for you, which you have the Fool, which is a great card. And then this one is about your spiritual gifts, or like gifts for you to share with others. And that is the Justice card. So let's talk about these cards. The Fool is coming in to tell you that you're heading into a new cycle. You are having a rebirth in your spiritual journey. So that can be really tricky. That can be really challenging, because it doesn't have to be. It can be smooth for some, because in the back of my head, someone just said to me, it's not always, hard work. And particularly if you're a younger person and you're going through, or it doesn't matter actually, particularly if you're going through a spiritual journey or initiation right now, is that we are, traveling faster and further in our spiritual journeys in a compressed timeline. If that's how it feels anyway. If you've been on your spiritual journey for a longer period of time, I'm talking, 5, 10, 20 years or more, things took a lot longer to process, to work through, to heal. Whereas now things are moving faster. So whatever it is that you're going through now, it doesn't have to have been hard work, and it doesn't have to have hurt you terribly. And if I'm talking about hurt and things like that, they may not be part of your experience. So just keep that in the back of your mind, pile 3. This card is all about, there is a lot of healing with amethyst, and it's very much about soothing and awakening, spiritual aspects of the self. And the Fool here is talking to you about the smooth ride, about flowing, about going with the flow of your life and your spiritual journey, rather than thinking that you might be wrong in these relationships. So when you have been in these relationships, and they will still pop up, even when you learn the lesson, we get these lovely tests to make sure that we know the lesson and that we're happy to put ourselves first. But you may get tested again, or you may still be in a testing situation. And the Fool here is saying to trust. If there's something that's falling away, it's not right for you. The Fool wants to go with the flow, because the Fool is naive in a way, but in this sense, it's not that naivety where you don't know enough. It's the naivety of being open, being honest, being fresh, and that is being open to the possibilities of new things rather than hanging on to the old. Now, the other thing about this card is it's a rebirth. I talked about that. There's that fern there, which is all about rebirth. And when we're going through a rebirth, there usually has to be an ending or a death of something. So it feels like not only is it past relationships, but it also feels like how you have done relationships is being let go. It is, you're moving on from that. And my knees want to tighten while I'm saying that. So you may feel like you're still hanging on, or you may still be hanging on, but it's okay, because there's going to be this letting go for you. The other thing about this is we've got those lotuses there. So the lotus is a plant that is born from the mud. So the seed is set in the mud, and then the plant and the roots begin to set down into the mud, and then this beautiful plant is given birth to, and then there is a lotus. It is a lotus flower bud. So it starts with a bud that opens then into this beautiful, delicate lotus flower. It's a very symbolic, spiritual flower, and it's been used in Eastern traditions and across the world actually to symbolize enlightenment. So you're moving in the right direction. The other thing is that I'm noticing there's 3 of them. So this is moving from that point of duality into more of an openness and awareness of other things, not just the polar opposites and duality. Don't know if I'm making terribly much sense there. But the Fool is going with the flow. So this is what you need to know now, or what's happening. So that's like current, or if it's not happening yet, it will be soon. Now this is your gift to share with others, and this is the Justice card, and it is the 11. You have the 2 of Cups, which again is the symbol is an 11. So we've got a master lesson for you that you're learning right now in your spiritual journey, pile 3. There's a lot of scattered energy around your pile as well, which is, I found it really difficult to think of the lotus flower bud. I found it really difficult to remember the name of the amethyst. I'm really struggling with things, and it's kind of like your energy feels like it's very scattered, but very much your mental abilities feel very scattered. So we've got the Justice card. This is an air card. This is about thinking. This is about bringing a balance of thought amongst other things. It's also the scales. Now, the set of scales here is for you to use. This is not for you to wait for someone to meter out justice for you. This is for you to bring things into balance. The relationships that aren't in balance are for you to bring into balance. And that is your part of this spiritual process or this spiritual journey. But it's going with the flow, with the full, and not forcing this part of the process. But what I mean by that is that it's developing within yourself. It is taking the blindfold off yourself and seeing that there is no one else that's going to come and save you. You're going to save yourself. And that's a big, big thing. When we're in a part of a spiritual community, we believe in other beings and other life forms and, you know, other energies that can help us, can assist us. We have a spiritual team that want to support us. But this here is your own resurrection. You can see how that bird is flying. It's almost as if it is the phoenix rising. And that is you. That is you rising from the ashes of these relationships. You rising up saying, actually, this is about my growth. It's not about those relationships. It's not about what those people did to me, because that's not what this spiritual journey is about. It's about acknowledging that your soul wanted that lesson, and the lesson may have been very painful. It may still be processing through you. However, you're the one that's going to meter out justice. And when I say that, I don't mean revenge. I mean you're going to bring yourself into balance, and then things are going, but you're going to apply that to the rest of the world too. So it's your gift to share, because when you find it within yourself, you're going to have an amazing discovery that you can share with other people. So let's bring in some more information for you. So we have the Page of Swords and the Two of Swords. And these are about roadblocks, what is coming up that is potentially going to get in your way, something that may be blocking you already or is going to come up to block you. Now the Page of Swords is coming up to tell you that there's going to be some swift communication, fast, decisive, quite cutting, generally coming from a younger person, and it's quick, it's swift, it's quick, and it may be very blunt. It may be very something you don't want to hear, and it most likely will have you wanting to shut down emotionally, not want to proceed with whatever this is, and feeling very emotionally closed and not wanting people to have access to you emotionally. Now, while I understand what this is going to bring up for you, this is simply a message, and it's something that, again, we have the 2 here, we've got the 2, we've got the 11. So we're really dealing with that, almost words are bipolar, and perhaps at times you feel bipolar because you know, like ups and downs, and it's like, you know, this swords, it's like really divisive. So it feels like this could be very divisive. But the other thing about these 2s or these 11s, which is how they're sort of showing up to me, is it's a master number. So you're working on a very big issue for you. So your soul journey at the moment is really, could be quite rocky. I keep saying not everyone's going to have that rocky part. However, you can see that this is kind of bleak. It's that bleakness. So there's this feeling of despair and barrenness coming in. But that's the feeling, and that's the outward perception of it. You may also feel that. However, that's not how it's meant to stay. This is opening up. Now, the other thing is we're all talking about balance, and that's what you're bringing in. So the lesson in itself is all about balance. Here, the bird is balancing on the edges of the blades, yet not getting hurt. And here we also have the bird with blindfolds on, but this time it's white, so it's becoming more neutral. It's time to take the blindfolds off. And then we have these next 2 cards are about what you don't see coming. And this card to me, no, wrong card. This card to me here is is it's called a tall tale, and it's a 33, which is an 8. We move from an 8 to a 9, which is a good thing. We're progressing and moving on. The other thing that I didn't notice before is that in the tall tale there is a rose, but you can't see it because it's hidden by smoke. But what I noticed about this card is the marionette strings. This person is quite wooden, well, because it's a puppet, and you can't see the strings, but you can see the device that's pulling the strings. And what I feel like this card here is what you don't see coming is you learn to see who's pulling your strings or pulling the strings of the situation. So whether it's your strings or whether it's the strings of the situation, that'll apply differently for all different people. But this is a puppet and it's being controlled by somebody else. It's also sitting on a hat, and the hat is, could be the master's hat. And again, like I said, there is a rose, but you can't see this rose. So it's kind of like a part of you is hidden when these puppet strings or the puppet master is happening. And that can sound kind of, dark and things like that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be murky. What it can be is simply you noticing that when someone does something, it's like pulling your strings. It's activating you. It's almost sort of that devil card in tarot where something happens and you instantly go and eat something or drink something or whatever it is that your thing is that you do. It's like that happens. You'll notice these strings being pulled, whereas before you didn't notice them. And then the rose's kiss. Now the rose's kiss, a rose has thorns, and while they are beautiful, we know that they have thorns and we know that they can sometimes prick us and hurt us. And I feel like this is it, that you understand that there are times when your strings are being pulled. You see the bigger picture, you see the puppet master or whatever it is that's bringing that into being. But you also know that that is a gift for you. We have a beautiful rose that's shining out. It's still a beautiful rose. Sometimes we get the rose's kiss, which can be that sting. But we're still emerging, we're still growing, and we see the beautiful ladybird ready to take flight. So we've got, and that's a 9 there, so that's coming to completion. So there is something coming out of the blue, but it's going to illuminate things for you that you may not like seeing. However, it's going to be a gift. It's still going to be beautiful for you, but there will be a bit of a sting. Like a scorpion, there'll be a bit of a sting to the tail. So we've got some more cards we're bringing in for you. And we're bringing in divine consciousness. This is about how to move forward. And I felt a little bit ungrounded when I picked this card up, which I didn't before. And what this is about is you getting an upgrade. You're physically opening up to more light, to more spiritual energy. You're letting go of a lot of stuff, and you're going to do that both on a mental plane and with a lot of air energy. Like I said before, this is the Libra card. So you're working mentally on a lot of emotional stuff in your spiritual development, on your spiritual journey. And you can see that this card is upside down. However, it's nothing to do with the card being reversed, and all to do with understanding that you are godlike, that you are a part of God, that, whatever you want to call the divine consciousness is within you, and you are connected at all times to that divine consciousness. And you can see that that's the hand of God coming through with even more galactic or source energy, stronger source energy. The other thing that I noticed about this card too is that I feel that you're going to get a DNA upgrade. So your cellular and your the very nuts and bolts of who you are is getting an upgrade. It's changing. The advice card for you is to allow more spiritual energy in. How do you do that? That is for you to ask your team, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through walks, whether it's through journaling and asking your guides to talk to you. You'll find the right way. And if you ask your guides the best way to do it, they will teach you. So that's your guidance for how to progress and how to move through these things in particular. And our last two cards are messages from Spirit. And these are great cards. We have the Nine of Cups. So while this process here, there's still some murky things to go to move through, you are starting a new journey. You are balancing out this journey. You are almost getting an upgrade mentally and physically and spiritually all at the same time. So a lot is going on for you, pile 3, which is why I feel your energy is a little bit scattered. But it's coming up trumps. You are going to feel very, very secure in yourself. And the thing that I really notice about this card is it's singular. So this person here is happy and safe and feels proud and good about themselves and all of the things they've achieved behind them. That's because they know all of their cups, those 9 cups. So again, we've got another 9. So we've got 2 9s here. That is a completion card or an almost completion card. And the 9 cups is all about emotional fulfillment. So once you're balancing these energies, you're going to feel really awesome. You're also going to be very, very clear about what you know, about who you are and how you want things to go forward. So this really happy person here also turns into this person, which is a person who knows their own boundaries, doesn't let anyone mess with them. And it's kind of like you come on my terms and my terms only into other relationships or into relationships with me, whether that be work related, home, school, whatever it is. You know who you are and you're not to be messed with. And your mind is much clearer. It's like you've cut away all of that, the doubt where you doubted yourself. So there is a lot of clarity, there's a lot of cut through, and there's a lot of emotional support for you. We started with the emotion card or the water card, and we didn't really have any more water until our advice or our messages from Spirit. And it is that you're going to be emotionally fulfilled. You are going through a particularly sort of like tumultuous upheaval type of thing because there is a lot going on for you, pile 3. There is a lot of scattered energy happening in your world. But Spirit wants you to know that the work is well worth it because you're going to come out on top, you're going to feel great, and you're going to know so much about yourself, and you're going to really be able to set boundaries around all of the things you want to in your life. Thanks for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you have, please like, share and subscribe. If you're interested in more picker cards, please hit the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Hi Pile 4. If you chose this beautiful green new jade sphere, then this is your reading all about your spiritual journey. And we have the High Priestess. Wow. Okay, so you, Pile 4, you're going to be highly psychic. You're going to really allow, that divine guidance to flow through you. Now, for some of you who've picked this pile and you're thinking, I am not psychic, I don't do any of those things, then you are, but you just don't know it yet. So the High Priestess is someone who understands and allows all of that divine communication to come through. She's highly intuitive, highly psychic, and you could be a medium or a clairvoyant or have those abilities. And again, you may just not know that you have those abilities. So we're bringing in some cards for you, which this card here is where you are on your spiritual journey. And then these cards here are your gifts that you're going to share with others, on your spiritual journey. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. I keep really noticing the scorpion tail today, and the scorpion or Scorpio. So you may be someone who has been through a lot of ups and downs recently, or it could actually feel like you've been going through ups and downs for years. Now, I know we all go through ups and downs. I don't mean that per se. What I mean is, some really significant changes have been happening. This is a 10. The Wheel of Fortune is talking about an end of a cycle. It can be a karmic cycle for some people. You could be releasing something from your life, somebody or something. It could be work related, it could be relationship related, but you're ready to let this go. So you're ready to let this go. You may not necessarily feel like that, but for the most part, you're ready to let this go, because there is a lot of gifts coming in with this. This is like the Wheel of Fortune talks about, those cycles where sometimes you're on top of the world and other times you're on the bottom of it. You're coming to the top of a cycle. You're completing a cycle. So you're coming up to that period where you're feeling good. The next two cards here are really, really interesting. We have the 5 of Pentacles reversed, and we have the 3 of Swords reversed. Now, they came out that way so that you can see which way they come. Now, they're both talking about heartache. They're both talking about pain. The 5 of Pentacles is talking about being locked out of a financial institution, or an institution. I shouldn't just say financial, a three-dimensional institution. It's talking about feeling like you have lost something, or that you're an outcast, or frozen out, like you've been frozen out of something. Could even be a friendship group. And this one here again is talking about emotional pain. But they're both in the reverse position. Now, often when we've got cards in the reverse position, it talks about things being out of balance. But this is what you're sharing with the world. So for me, it's like you're going to share your knowledge because of these experiences. So you may have already had these experiences, both of them. And you may still be processing some of them, the emotional content, but I don't feel like that's going to be most of you. For most of you, you're coming up into the up cycle, so you will have released and let go. But this one here is you being left out of something, or that feeling of rejection. And this one here is that feeling that people have stabbed you in your heart. And it could be 2 people or more. But again, it's a real physical blow, this one. But you are someone, these are the words that I'm getting, and everyone's obviously going to have a different aspect or way this relates to them, but I'm going to explain it this way. This could be someone who either gives talks about their heartache, how this happened to them in the past, and they're using the things that haven't been so great in their life, they're using those things to talk to people. Now, the High Priestess doesn't always talk about, speaking. However, here I'm seeing that as this is a speaking role. I'm seeing you as someone who speaks. And now, if you don't speak, but you blog or you write or you communicate, that's you. So don't turn off if you think I don't write. I'm seeing it, I don't speak, sorry. I'm seeing it as expression. It could be that you sing, you might play music, you could dance your expression out, but you use your pain and you help other people with it. That's the wonderful part of your pain in your spiritual journey, that you're on top of it and you're using it on a platform. I see you on a platform, and the High Priestess is just that little bit elevated, talking to people, sharing your experiences with people to help them benefit from it. We have what's blocking you, and then we have what you don't see coming. So let's work with what's blocking you first. And we have 2 faces that are both coming straight at you. Okay, so without really reading what's on those cards, because I'm getting a different message, what's blocking you is I don't feel like you're allowing your spirit guides to come through. So I talked about communication here and here. I talked about you using your pain to help other people. And I feel almost sad about that, but I also feel kind of joyous as well. And what this this stone is really good with helping you sleep. I think it's I'm pretty sure it's help with dreams or remembering dream. Yes, remembering dreams. This is to help remember dreams. Now, the reason why I've thought about that now is because you're having experiences that you're not remembering. You're blocking your psychic gifts. So not all of them. You're quite intuitive in some ways, but there is this bounty of information coming to you in your dreams or your dream state or at night, which the High Priestess rules, the moon, and you are blocking this information, or you are blocking a great percentage of it, and you're not allowing it to come through. So that's why you've got these. I'm not even looking at the bottom of these two cards today because I'm like, no, that's not it. These guides are showing up to you. These benevolent beings, they could even be galactic beings. They're showing up to you to communicate with you so that they can help you bring more of what you're talking about to the rest of the world, because you are someone who is going to communicate in some way, shape or form. And it could be that you have a YouTube channel. You could have, I don't know, you could vlog or blog or something. There is some way you communicate your pain to the rest of the world, and it's coming through in a psychic way, even if you don't understand that that's happening. Your spiritual journey is accessing this pain to gift to other people. And there are guides, two in particular, and one I feel is either, I hope this doesn't upset you or turn you off, but it's like a galactic being. So it's like a being from another planet. This being here is definitely, and this feels like a guide. So you have a guide and you have an extraterrestrial, or I know for some people that's going to be really challenging, or a galactic healer, that's the name on this card, that are coming to you. You could have a lot more. There could be rows and rows and rows of these people coming to work with you. At the moment, you're blocking it. Now, the next card you have is the Six of Pentacles, and we have it in the reverse position. And we have the Scales of Justice, and nearly every pile has had the scales come up in it today. So it's like there is this big rebalancing happening. Now for you, I feel like most of this pile are going to be already kind of established in not only in their spiritual journey, but also when it comes to finances. And I feel like this rebalancing of finances could be a review of something you're already invested in, could be the sale of something that you have currently that you're going to sell that you don't see coming. But it's a rebalancing of your finances or financial situation, and it feels to do with an investment you already have. I really don't understand why that information is coming there, but that's the information that's coming, and it's kind of like locked in this little tight ball. There's no other information around it. That's what it is, and I'm to tell you that, and that's it. So we're going to move on. So now the next cards that are coming for you, pile 4, we have messages on how to move forward, and then advice or messages from spirit. Now the snake energy is that eternal energy, and this is kind of going within. I'm feeling for you. A snake can shed its skin very easily, and I feel like you're very adaptive. It means like that in the world, you're quite adaptive. You've adapted well to this, and you might be thinking, well, it was really painful and I had to go through this horrible experience to get where I am today. And absolutely, I'm not discounting any of your pain, but you are a survivor. You are someone other people can pin their hopes on and say, that person did it, I can do it. And so you are such a gift to the people around you. But you need to see your own otherworldliness as well as your eternalness. What I mean by that is that you will keep going. You will keep transforming and changing, and you will keep going. The advice from Spirit is to know that about yourself, because it creates a stronger sense of who you are and what you can do. And it also brings that wonderful other dimension in. Because I think the thing that with this reading for you is that you haven't seen your other dimensionality, and you haven't been willing to open up to guides and that other galactic information that is coming to you. And you may understand that you do get intuitive hits, but you may not have wanted to open up to it. But what Spirit is saying to you is that you are an eternal being, and it's time now to connect to that all-seeing, all-knowing part of yourself that's connected to that God self or divine self. And here it's like, I feel this is about sort of that shadowy sort of side of yourself. I don't feel like you're at home in the night. And the raccoon here is at home. Like that's when it plays. It's when it goes out to play and find food and things like that. And there is a bit of a resistance when it comes to your psychic self, or your real spiritual self, which is who you really are, pile 4. And I feel like there is part of you that just wants to remain stuck in these shadows and stay there where it's safe. But this is what Spirit is saying, that the advice for you is to know who you are. It's kind of like the statement of I am. I am all that I am. And when you know that, you won't be hiding here anymore, and you'll be out in the open a bit more. And you already are out in the open, because I do see you on a stage, but it's like you're out in the open when it comes to other people and when you're doing things for others. But when you're doing it for yourself, you want to hide. So I'm feeling this duality here, and we've got the duality again. So again, I feel like we're working with the two aspects of you, and we want to unite them. And Spirit wants you to bring the raccoon into the light. Now, the last 2 cards are messages from Spirit, and one is Seeing Beyond, and that is basically the card. This card, it is seeing beyond this illusion of this realm. This card here and these 2 cards, like your spiritual journey is about to get way weirder. Is one of the messages for you. But it's going to be great. It's going to be so awesome. You're going to see beyond this realm way more than you might have even imagined, way more than you have before. The shining through is that light coming through from above. Your third eye is going to open even more, and you're going to have some really, really cool spiritual experiences. Your spiritual journey has only just begun, and you may have been on the journey for a really long time, so don't take that to heart. What I mean is that it's opening up really, really on a big scale for you. This spiritual light and the amount of spiritual light that you can bring down is escalating, expanding. Yes, you're bringing through that galactic and star sort of energy. So an amazing reading for you, pile 4. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought, because there was quite a lot of things happening here, and I really want to know whether you already see yourself or already understand your own intuitive abilities, or whether that is more blocked than I could see. Because this is a group reading, I am getting different fluctuations of energy here. The new jade is a beautiful, beautiful stone, and this one might really help you remember those night visions that you are having. You are coming to the end of a cycle, and you're going to feel really, on top of the world during this cycle. There will be a bit of rebalancing, and there is going to be some new energy flooding through your life. But you are going to do some amazing things with your spiritual experiences on your spiritual journey. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss a video. Bye for now.